lórí òkè àti pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, níbẹ̀ la gbé dì mí sí o, níbẹ̀ la gbé tọ́ mi dàgbà o, ilẹ̀ òmìnira. Máyọ̀, máyọ̀, máyọ̀ o, lórí Olúmọ. Máyọ̀, máyọ̀, máyọ̀ o.
Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Baba Kisu, your favorite storyteller from Ibadan. Today, I am very excited to share my personal experience of the Egbaliganza Lisabi Festival that took place on April 5th in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State in Nigeria. It is an annual celebration honoring the Egba hero, Lisabi Agbongbo Akala, who was a brilliant military organizer and farmer. He united some Yoruba groups to launch an attack against the Oyo Empire between 1775 and 1780. This year's event featured a grand finale bringing together Egba people from across the globe. The highlight was the vibrant Egbaliganza procession, showcasing colorful parades, traditional displays, and performances that celebrated the unity and strength of the Egba people. I even learned that Egba is the traditional name for Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State. My first stop was the palace where I went on a tour. The tour guide was very explicit in explaining the history of Egba land. Listen to what she had to say.
We have three palaces here. We have the first one, the second, and the third. So this is the first, this is the second, and the third one is the one the king uses presently. So we can start our tour by showing you the first palace. This is the first palace, and this palace is called Idiere. Why it is called Idiere is because of the statues. It's named after the statues that we have here. In Yoruba, statues is called Ere, so this place is called Idiere. And we have chiefs that are normally situated here. They own these chairs. They are called Baba Idiere. Over there, that's the first Alake of Egba land, Oba Okukenu the first, and he is also the great-grandfather of the present king. And the statue in front, the one holding the sword, that's the statue of Lisabi we are currently celebrating at the moment. So that's Lisabi Agbongbo Akala, the one who liberated the Egba people from Oyo Empire. He was known to be a farmer before he became a warrior. This building, this palace, is now a sacred place whereby it is meant for only the chiefs that are here, the Baba Idieres. They are the ones that are entitled to go in. So whoever wants to go in would have to perform some sacrifice, rites and rituals. So this painting over here, we have the painting of the first Bible that was brought to Nigeria. This particular one replaced the first two that was brought in by Queen Victoria of England. She delivered the Bible here herself. And this one was presented by Edward VII of England. So he brought this to replace the one that was lost in the fire incident. These are the Oloroguns, and these are the things the king uses. And these people here, they are called the Ogbonis. They are the occultic priests in the palace. And we have this, which represents Igbo Lisabi. So there's a place called Igbo Lisabi, that's the Lisabi shrine, where they go to worship Lisabi every year. They went there on Thursday, and some went there this early morning to pay homage to him. And here we have the Egba musicians. Then over here we have these palms that represent Lisabi as a farmer before he became a warrior. And this is a design of Adire that the Egbas use. We have another pattern for Adire over here. Sorry. So over here we have the paintings of women with their natural hair, and down here we have what we call tubu. These are the palace prisons they use in those days. Yoruba call it tubu. It's very small as the door is and not conducive. Up here, we have the anthems. The first one is the Egba anthem, and the second one is the Ogun State anthem. The Egba anthem was composed by Fela Anikulapo Kuti's grandfather. The first one is Lórí òkè àti pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀, ibẹ̀ la gbé bí mi sí o, ibẹ̀ la gbé tọ́ mi dàgbà o, ilẹ̀ òmìnira. Èmi yóò fàbẹ́ òkúta ṣògo, n ó dúró lórí Olúmọ, máa yọ̀ lórúkọ Ẹ̀gbá o, èmi ọmọ Lisabi. Máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀ o, lórí Olúmọ, máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀ o, lórí Olúmọ. Abẹ́òkúta ìlú Ẹ̀gbá, n kò ní gbàgbé rẹ, n ó gbé ọ lókè ọkàn mi bí ìlú odò Ọya. Èmi yóò máa yọ̀ lórí Olúmọ, èmi yóò ṣògo òye lọ́kàn mi wípé ìlú olókìkí o làwọn Ẹ̀gbá ń gbé. Máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀ o, lórí Olúmọ, máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀, máa yọ̀ o. Then the Ogun State anthem. Ìṣẹ́yá, ìṣẹ́yá, ọmọ Ògùn ìṣẹ́yá, Elédùmarè ìṣẹ́ máa yá o, ìṣẹ́yá. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Ògùn ẹ ṣe gírí, iṣẹ́ pọ̀ fún wa láti ṣe. Ọmọ rere kì í ṣáṣẹ́, ọmọ Ògùn kì í ṣọ̀lẹ. Ẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbẹ́rù o, Ọlọ́run ń bẹ fún wa, ẹ tẹra mọ́ṣẹ́ o, ìṣẹ́yá, ọmọ Ògùn ìṣẹ́yá. So the Egba anthem is strictly for the Egbas, while the Ogun State anthem is for Ogun generally. So this palace is over 120 years because it's the first palace, the first Alaki of Egba used. So that's all for the first palace. So we are heading to the second palace where we have the real history of Egba land. So let's go. Okay, this is the second palace, and this palace is going to be 121 years by November this year. This place holds a lot of history. And here we have, aside from the histories, the stories, we have a throne in the throne room that is believed to be the most beautiful throne in Egba land, and it's made of beads. We are starting from the year Egba started. So in 1830, we had the arrival of Egba people here in Abeokuta, and they were at a forest in Olumo. And in 1840s, we have the arrival of the Egba returnees from Sierra Leone. They are called the Saharo. So these people, we have the Rasam Kutes. They are part of the people that returned from Sierra Leone. And 1842, we have the arrival of missionaries, or the Christianity. Then 43, the arrival of Reverend Henry Townsend. That same year, they held the first Christian service in Abeokuta here, in front of Chief Shodeke's house, Hatipo Shodeke. 1846, Reverend Henry Townsend returned to Egba land with Samuel Ajayi Crowther to further the mission work, and he also helped with the translation of the English Bible to the Yoruba Bible. Then 1846, the first primary school in Egba land, St. Peter's Anglican Primary School, Ake, is inside the church. And in 1848, the Christian service baptism was held here in Egba land also by Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther. 1849, the two Holy Bibles was delivered by Queen Victoria of England herself to the Egba chiefs. And in 1850, we had the birth of Baptist Mission here in Abeokuta also, which was brought in by the American Reverend called Reverend Thomas Jefferson Bowen. Then in 1851, the Egba army was led by Chief Shokenu and Ogungono when they drove away the Dahome army. Then 1854, we had the coronation of the first Alaki of Egba land, Obasagwa Okukenu, who went to his ancestors in 1862. 1849, the first cotton mill in Egba land. 1859, we had the first newspaper in Nigeria called Iwe Iroyin. This newspaper was published and circulated by Reverend Henry Townsend. Shokeni became the Seriki of Egbaland. Ijai Kukudi was destroyed by Ibadan people, and the Ijai Kukudi is called Igbagura of today. Then in 1862, Egba began their brick making officially at Ikija station. Now, this is a beautiful part. 1865, Governor Glover of Lagos drove out the Egba army from Ikorodu. Lagos is known to have a lot of lands, and some of the lands belong to the Egbas. We have the Ikorodu, we have some parts of Ojude Oba, we have Abuli Egba. So in 1869, we had the coronation of the second Alaki of Egbaland, Oba Ademola I. And 1877, Ibadan was defeated, the Ibadan army, and they were defeated by the Egba army led by Akinwande. 1879, we had the coronation of the third Alake of Egbaland, Oba Oyekon. 1880, we had the establishment of Roman Catholic Mission. And 1885, the coronation of the fourth Alake of Egbaland, Oba Oluwaji. 1888, the France made an attempt to annex Egbaland as a French protectorate. 1891, the coronation of the fifth Alake of Egbaland, Oba Shokalu. Then, in 1898, Egba established a name for their government called the Egba United Government, EUG. This government ended in 1914 during the amalgamation of Nigeria. 1899, the coronation of the sixth Alake of Egbaland, Oba Gbadebo I, who is known to be the grandfather of the present king. 1899, Egba and the British government of Lagos signed a treaty with the Egba government, and they agreed to pay the Egba government £200 annually for 99 years to lease the railway sideways for that 99 years. So the 99 years ended in 1998. 1900, we had the dedication of the first church in Nigeria called the Cathedral of St. Peter's Anglican Church, which is opposite the palace here. The 1901, the railway line at Ibara was opened. And 1904, the first official gazette was issued for the Egba United Government. 1911, the first hospital in Nigeria was opened called the Sacred Heart Hospital. 1914, we had the amalgamation of Nigeria that ended the Egba United Government. Then 1914 also, the formal opening of Abekta Water Works by Gbadebo I. 1919, the West African Frontier Force Barracks, which began to accommodate troops for the Adobe War. Then 1920, we had the coronation of the seventh Alake of Egbaland, Oba Ademola II, the son of Ademola I. He is known to be the longest ruling king, and I call him the Steez King. He ruled for 42 years. And he is also the first literate traditional king in southern Nigeria, and also the father to the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, Sir Adidu Sokumbo Ademola. 1923, we had the first boys' school called Baptist Boys High School. A lot of people went here. Obasanjo went here. The king went here. And so many of them went to the school. 1930, we had the opening of the centenary, which is the first town hall in Egbaland, and this was when Egba celebrated their 100 years. So 1930 also, they built the Itoku Cenotaph, which was commissioned by Ademola II. 1937, this man went to represent Nigerian government at the coronation of King George VI in England. Then the story of Fumilayo and some Kuti Women's Union, which took place here in 1948, Gbadebo I and Lugard. 1958, Ademola II's son became the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria. 1960, Lafarge Cement commenced production, and it was formerly called WABCO, West African Portland Cement. 1963, the coronation of the 8th Alake of Egbaland, Oba Gbadebo II, the father of the present king. That's the present king. He was a military man before he took over the throne, and he got married to his wife in 1971, the queen. And she's the only queen we have. She is the daughter to the legendary Yoruba novelist, Alawiye Paodunjo. Yeah, that's the queen's father. And 1972, we have the coronation of the 9th Alake of Egbaland, Oba Oyebade Likpede. 1976, Ogun State was created, Abekta became the capital. 1976, Olusegun Obasanjo was appointed the head of state of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and is present at the moment. 1976, Federal College of Education, Oshiele, was established. 1979, Ogun State Polytechnic, now called Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, was established in 1979. The owner of Tejo Market in Lagos, she is from Egbaland, and she became the third Iyalode of Egbaland in 1982, and the first wife of MKO Abiola, Mrs. Simbiat Antinoke Abiola, became our Otun Iyalode in that same year. That same year also, 1982, Oba Alikpede laid the stone foundation of the third palace. 1985, the third palace was commissioned. 1986, Wole Soyinka won the prestigious Nobel Prize for Literature. 1988, FUNAB was established. 1991, Prince Bola Ajibala was appointed a judge at the International Court of Justice. 1993, MKO won his election. The Federal Medical Center Idiaba was commissioned. Year 2000, Archbishop Peter Jasper Akela was elected the primate of the Church of Nigeria. 2003, Chief Mrs. Titila Oseni was elected and inaugurated as the first female speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, and she is known to be the first female speaker in southwest Nigeria. 2005, Professor Kayode Oshiku was appointed as the pioneer VC of TASWE, Taisholari University of Education, and he is the chairman of the Egba Museum and also a chief in the palace. Year 2005, the present king was coronated as the 10th Alake of Egbaland, Oba Adedotun Aremugbadebo Okukenu IV, and he is still ruling. This is his 20th year. 2005, Crescent University was opened and Prince Bola Ajibala is the founder. 2007, Issa Koloyede and Egbason was elected as the VC of University of Ilorin. 2017, we have the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library, OOPL. It was commissioned in 2017 as the first presidential library in Africa.
My next point of call was the stadium, where I saw a colorful procession of the Egba cultural adire in its splendor. It was breathtaking to see the wonderful, intricate designs in the local fabric. I flew my drone to get an aerial view of the crowd and to see the different colors from the sky. It was nothing but marvelous. I then had the opportunity of interviewing the untouchables, the makers and shakers of Egba land, to get their perspectives of the Egbaliganza celebrations. The interviewees were the likes of Chief Mrs. Olamide Badamosi, Bada Ogbinri Ogun Olamide, Chief Tolu Taylor, the incoming Kabiyesi Kogbakpe, Dr. Akinwumi Alonge, Egbaliganza, Dr. Lai Labode Osi Akpagun of Egba land, and Princess Enitade Adegbite. They all had an insight into the history and preservation of the culture of Egba land. Let us hear firsthand what they had to say.
The Egbas are the African premium blood. We have so many firsts, and we decided to showcase the very best of Egba land. And we called it Egbaliganza. And it's not just about fashion, it's about everything great about Egba land. But today, we brought to the world the walkway of kings to showcase the sophistication.
Lisabi is a hero that helped the Egbas and what made the Garden of Abeokuta a possibility today. That is why we're here to celebrate our culture.
Now from this place today, I can see unity, I can see friendship, I can see cohesiveness, I can see people that are ready to live together, to survive together. You understand? And I love that. That is so beautiful. Then I can see, of course, the beauty in the attires that has been displayed.
Change is a constant. We can always be better in everything. There are lots of challenges. For example, I feel we need to decolonize our culture. We need to decolonize the language. We need to decolonize our mentality. We need to rethink, reevaluate, and replan so that we can be strong-footed, better than this.
A lot of the youth of today, not us youth, even people my age, we've drifted away. We need to go back to our roots. Because, well, you know what? Our roots, our culture, our heritage are not richer than what is being perceived outside of there now. So we need to go back to our roots. And by so doing, by the richness, we can actually, Nigeria becomes a new place, a better place. If Nigeria, Africa, what is a great place? Take it or leave it. European youth have come to colonize us. We need to go back to that.
Culture needs to be preserved. So one of the first things that we're doing is to invest in that preservation. You know, there's quite a bit that we're collecting. We have actually started to hire consultants to work with us in how we can take preservation to the next level. and also the things that we're doing at this age. Not just what happened before. There are things happening now that are passing us by. How are we documenting them? So we're very big on documentation. If you look at the cap Alake was wearing today, Kabesi Alake, it is called Abeti a year. Only him can wear it. And only 5 can be made in a year.
There are lots of challenges. Because we have a lot of misconceptions. For example, I've got cowries in my hair. Right? I've got cowries. They're real cowries. That is an integral part of our culture. But there's a misconception that people have misinterpreted what this cowrie stands for. So it's like when you say, this person, no, it's not juju. It is Aje. If you go to London, go to Hyde Park in London, we have Aje House, built with cowries. And therefore, London, one of the reasons, London is one of the centers of the biggest economy in the world. You say Aje is there. You have put in Aje, we have sold our Aje to the colonial, so they will have brought here. So it's a lot of misconceptions. So we need to be educated that our children, even our people, they need to embrace. We should not let foreign religion actually debar us from fully embracing our culture and everything. So the foreign religions, I'm sorry to say, the foreign religions, there's a lot of misconceptions for the tradition. Our tradition, we need to maintain them.
There is a lot of power in understanding your culture. There's a lot of power in uniting with your people. In fact, you cannot get the best of yourself if you don't connect to your heritage.
Our tradition, our culture, our heritage was so advanced. They've learned a lot from us. So yes, we have challenges because they've painted us to be like, we are the lesser human beings. No, we are not. We are the supreme. We are the supreme. But our people need to know that we are the supreme.
Our young ones are trying to import and trying to copy other things. And of course, this is going to have a very negative effect in our industry. So it is important that we preserve what we have because of the genuineness of it. And that is going to bring a lot of creativity to what we are doing. So it is important that while we are facing this challenge of infiltration of other culture, we need to preserve what we have as a people because that is going to help us a lot.
Egba United government, the government that we had before they came, before slavery, we need to go back to that.
The main thing for this festival, this Egbaliganza, is to bring us all together, to work together. And I pray it will continue, not only today, but afterwards, solidarity is important, unity is important. We should forget about our differences and work together for the growth and progress of Egba land.
To sum it up, the Egbaliganza Lisabi Festival was an eye-opener. It brought the Egba people from all over the globe back to their roots to unite, smile, and share a good laugh together on their home soil. The festival awakened the inner mind of the Egba people and made them realize that they have to break the chains of the colonizers and reunite with their culture, language, and mentality. They have to make the Adire fashion industry strong again and get rid of the fluctuation of the Chinese and their fabrics that is taking over the land once known for its vibrant traditional fabrics. We need to remove the misconceptions that people have on our cultural identity, like the cowrie shell, for instance. It stands for Aje, which means wealth, economic prosperity, or the deity of wealth. Imagine how the colonizers have made us believe that our cowrie shell is evil or juju. Why would the British build an Aje house in central London if the cowrie shell was really evil? They have succeeded in blinding us of our own culture and stealing it from us and making us feel as if we are the lesser humans when we are indeed the supreme ones. We need to be re-educated for us to believe in ourselves. We can only do this if we unite as one Nigeria, one Africa. I am Baba Kisu, your favorite storyteller from Ibadan. See you in the next video.